Hey, this is Calvin Hawkins. You're listening to the Unbelievers podcast.
There were several groups. One of the principal ones was the reptilians from the Orion complex.
Without any exaggeration, it was like being on fire inside.
Rats were eating you inside.
This stuff was in my mouth. It felt like it was 500 degrees. It was unbelievably hot.
My first question would be, were you a member of the Church of Satan, a card-carrying member of the Church of Satan?
I don't understand.
There's always an argument for everything, you know? Just because somebody can fake something doesn't necessarily mean it's
War and we found a life form. And that's when I started shitting my pants.
So for the person who called, I am carrying an alien.
An alien baby, we cover it right here, okay?
Okay.
Something is happening. What is it? That's the question. So do UFOs exist? It depends on what you mean exist.
TV monster hunters, those brave and adventurous souls who risk life, limb, and reputation in pursuit of the world's most elusive cryptid creatures, bring to life evidence and footage that could finally prove cryptids are real. While many of these paranormal pursuants have gone on to have successful and notable on-screen careers, there are many others in this field that have been resigned to wait in obscurity and disappointment. It is these individuals that we will be discussing tonight as the Unbelievers bring back some Alabama Strangeness to discuss another unfortunately monikered monster and the men and women who are trying their very best to break into the big-time Bigfoot finding business on the trail of the legend of the Downey Booger. Right here in the program, we continue to learn to unlearn everything you know. Hello and welcome to the Unbelievers podcast. I'm Russ Ryan, and joining me as always is Drea Mora. Hello, Drea.
Hello, almost as always, but I am back.
She is back, and also joined by TV's Brendan Shay. Hello, Brendan.
Hey.
What is up?
I like it.
Good to be back, and Drea is back. We are so happy.
It's
been a couple episodes.
Internet.
I know, internet and all that, but man, we got you back for a good one tonight. And man, you missed some stuff since you were gone. We talked about Art Bell and his great open lines, his Alien Toucher open lines, and also...
Oh, I missed the Alien Touchers, dude.
You missed that? You missed Phoebe's baby.
Fuck.
Shout out to Axel, young Axel.
I did see the pictures on Instagram. Does it?
That definitely counts.
At least I was aware.
That definitely counts.
And congratulations for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But we've got a fun one for tonight. We're ready to get into something we don't talk about very much, but tonight we're going to get into something called the legend of the Downey Booger.
1, 2, 3. Boogum now, baby, your casting still on me. I say boogum now, baby, your casting still on me. You got me doing funny things like a clown.
Yeah, yes.
I was not expecting that at all.
Here we go.
As always, Russ, your music selection is spot on.
Boogum. That's right. Because tonight we're gonna set aside the alien talk for this week as we get back into the mysterious world of undiscovered and unclassified creatures to discuss one of the lesser known variants of that hugely popular monster called Sasquatch. You know, big old red eye. What are some of his other nicknames?
Oh God, I don't know, stinky
Wood booger, skunk ape,
grassman.
Grassman, Big Muddy. Big Muddy's a good one.
I don't remember Big Muddy. That's good.
We're talking about Bigfoot, of course. And as dumb as those monikers are, tonight's focus is even worse. This episode, we'll be discussing a creature known as the Downey Booger. And I've gone on record with this before. Back when we covered mountain monsters, I hate Bigfoots being called boogers. The closest I'll accept to booger is the Boggy Creek monster. Boggy is close, but, you know.
Bogger?
It's not as on the nose like that, but I'll take that back. But imagine.
No, too late. It's recorded, dude.
Imagine if that was called the Booger Creek Monster. No one would take that monster seriously at all. Boggy's a good name. And Lyle Blackburn would be in some breadline somewhere if it was the Booger Creek Monster. But
he's not already?
No, Lyle Blackburn is doing fine, though. He is killing it. But what about the other Bigfoot documentarians other than Lyle Blackburn? Are there more out there? Well, of course there are. And we are going to talk about a few now as we discuss the 2018 documentary Legend of the Downey Booger. And the full name of this is actually Cryptic Encounters, the Legend of the Downey Booger. That's right. Cryptic.
There's boogers in the colon now?
There's boogers in, yes, there are boogers in the colon here. And I want to mention, it's called the Downey Booger, which sounds like Downsy off the bat, so it's not helping this booger at all. I was
wondering, is it the same Downey the Carpenters are from?
The same what?
Downey, California, where the Carpenters are from, dude.
No, I wish this is where the Carpenters were from. This is in Alabama. This is an Alabama Strangeness. And that's right. This show was trying to be called Cryptic Encounters. I guess Cryptid Encounters were already taken, and these guys are just like, cryptic, close enough. Is it though?
They just missed it by one key. They're like A, B, D, C. Oh, shit.
And I thought about that. I was like, does this make sense? So think about this. The definition of cryptid is a creature that is mentioned in folklore or other accounts, but whose existence is disputed or unproven. Now, what about cryptic? It has to be the same thing, according to these guys, right? Cryptic means mysterious in meaning, puzzling, ambiguous, abrupt, terse, short, involving or using cipher or code. And that's what I think when I think something's cryptid, like it's involving some kind of cryptic code.
Your script has been encrypted.
Or like you being intentionally vague. You're being very cryptid, like cryptic. Like,
dude, I really wish that you would stop being so cryptid with me because it's like, it's just confusing. But no, the one that confused me is the definition abrupt. That cryptic can mean abrupt.
Yeah, like, I'll be back in 25 minutes.
Whoa, that's way too cryptic.
That is very cryptic. But okay, but it kind of does work because it also means in zoology, fitted for concealing, serving to camouflage. So cryptic kind of works for what they're doing. Yeah. It kind of works a little bit.
Like a crypt where you hide bodies in. That's where you had the treasure, right? What if it was like a rich person, like a pharaoh? It's not just like buried, whatever. They have to hide it because they don't want the grave robbers to find it.
Right. You need a cipher to find their bones. Oh, speaking of bones, we're going to talk about those tonight.
Fuck cipher.
Oh, yeah.
We are. And
Brendan loves bones.
So we're going to find out if this works. But does this documentary work? Which this documentary, I believe, was intended to be a pilot for a Travel Channel show. I'll say that right now. These guys talk like this is just the first investigation of many. And spoilers, it is not, which is why it is just a one-off documentary on Tubi of all places. So let's get into it before this gets too cryptic. Let's get more cryptid.
Sasquatch. Bigfoot. A legend surrounded with mystery and questions. Is it real? Or just a good campfire story told by generations?
My team sets out to discover the truth about one of the greatest mysteries of all time. Through video and physical evidence and some personal experiences.
Come on, pep up.
We hope to learn what is really going on in the woods.
Me and my team will stop at nothing to discover the truth. Because I've been studying something called the Legend of the Downey Booger. And it was actually in Winston County, right here in Alabama. The way it goes is there's a couple of young men who's been out at a dance, and they're returning home, and from behind a tree out steps what they described as a tall, upright, hairy, wild man. And it scared the horses. Their horses refused to go any further. They turned around and they actually had to go home another way. So, being teenagers, of course, their parents didn't believe them. Yeah, so until it happened again.
Whoa, okay, pause.
Whoa.
So a couple of young dudes out dancing and a booger pops out. And this is like in the 1800s. These dancing men were on horses going through the woods.
Well, every now and then that's going to happen when a couple of dudes are dancing. Just a booger will pop out. It's embarrassing, but you usually just don't acknowledge it.
Yeah, it is, and it is a thing. Like, this is the main story behind this cryptid, the Downey Booger. Is these two dancing men? This is what a lot of the whole folklore is all based on. These two dancing guys.
Wow. Can you permit me to make a really, really fucking stupid joke?
Oh no, please go ahead.
Oh.
When they said that the two horses refused to go any further, they said nay. That was such a bad joke that it ruined Brendan's internet connection for a second.
This is why we missed you these last few weeks. Thank you so much for that. And so I'm gonna set the scene here. So this documentary, this is being told to us by a team leader, Greg Ogles, or Ogles, Greg Ogles, and the screen graphics tell us that this is investigation number 1. One of one, I will say, because this is not, there's no more of this. And this is the team meeting. It's being held during the day in front of a campfire. And Greg has more history and folklore about this mysterious booger.
Until it happened again. There was a moonshiner who was on the very same road around the same time. And the moonshiner's delivering his payload, of course. So the moonshiner notices this same upright, hairy, wild man following him. His first instinct was to run, but he remembered he's armed. So he takes out his revolver, turns and he shoots.
Wait a second.
He says it screamed like a wild woman and ran into the woods and disappeared. So anyway, he goes and tells the sheriff, and the sheriff forms a posse.
Hey, you're a moonshiner.
And the
You arrest
posse
him.
tracks the creature all the way to a cliff where they assumed he fell off the cliff and perished, fell to his demise. But that's how the legend of the Downey Booger was created.
Okay, I mean, this sounds legit. That is a reliable first-hand witness, a moonshiner.
Yeah, where they said they think that he fell down and died. That's a reliable witness account for sure.
Yeah.
He's only reliable because he went to the cops, I guess. You know,
right?
Serious. He was that scared.
Hey, yep. Brendan knows.
Yeah, this is not a moonshiner with a heart of gold or anything. This is just a guy who, I don't know.
Moonshiner with a heart of fucking moonshine, dude.
So, okay, so you got the two dancing guys. They see this booger. It scares their horses. The horses say nay. And then the moonshiner sees it, but the moonshiner reports it. And then the posse is put together, and then they chase it off a cliff. And I'm not buying it. I've seen The Fugitive. Okay, I'm not buying that. That posse was just lazy or possibly drunk, hanging out with a moonshiner. And I have a question for you guys: is a moonshiner the same thing as a bootlegger?
No, actually, they can be one and the same, but a bootlegger would be the one who's doing the transportation and selling and distribution. Don't ask me how I know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, the moonshiner's just the guy who's still in it.
I want to meet a moonshiner.
Yeah. Still in
it in the game. I gotta get that.
Okay.
Yeah, and it screamed like a wild woman. Of course, I had to get that. That's a great.
As soon as I heard that when I watched it, I knew Russ was going to clip that one
because it's from such a mild mannered man talking about there's a wild woman out there.
Why does that keep on happening? Where it's like scream like and then they forget what they scream like. It might be of a bitch.
Right. And we should kind of describe this guy. He's the main hero. Brendan described him pretty well. What did you think this guy, Greg, looked like?
There was a scene where he kind of was standing there on the hill. He kind of looked like the cryptid hunter, Garth Brooks.
He does.
That's what he looked like.
That is accurate.
He is. He sounds like your polar opposite of a Lyle Blackburn. Like he is like the light side Lyle Blackburn, where he is just, he's
you mean the Lyle White?
Yes,
Burn?
He's Lyle Whiteburn. A white. What's the opposite of burn?
He looks like Garth Brooks in his. He looks like Garth Brooks in his like heavy drinking years before he lost weight. Like he's a bit hefty, but
yes, but right before Chris Graves or whatever his alter ego is named.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Gaines. I knew that.
That got morbid though, because that would be his counterpart.
Yeah, that's his Lyle Blackburn.
I guess it's better than Chris Losses or something. Whatever.
Okay, we got to stop this. Welcome back.
Yeah, this is terrible. Yeah, welcome back. Now shut up.
No. While Greg is telling this, though, he is flanked by his team that we're going to meet in this, a Cryptic Encounters team, who are all on folding chairs in front of a daytime campfire, which is kind of rare. You don't see a lot of daytime fires. You do in this show. And my favorite part of this is the woman sitting to this guy's right is eating something off of a paper plate with chopsticks in Alabama. It made no sense. It's very. No, yeah, now go ahead, Drea. Defend a woman.
You're so close-minded. You're so close-minded. Well, so you don't want Asians in Alabama. I get it.
No. She's not Asian. She's like a cool aunt-looking lady that we meet named Janice.
But there could be Asian restaurants, and you don't want them there. So whatever.
Well, what's the campfire for during the day? She didn't barbecue something. Okay, all right, fine.
I don't know. I'm playing devil's advocate like I always do.
And look, I've been on fire about this for a while. My wife actually told me that she was probably being nice and taking wooden chopsticks that would biodegrade, and that she was being environmental. I was like, all right.
She could just burn them.
She can throw them in the fire. All right, it's fine.
Exactly.
It's smart.
Maybe that's why they have the fire.
This week's poll, do you bring chopsticks to a campfire? No, that's not it.
I like that, actually.
Well, save it for the end. But we're going to meet her and others. But first, I want to read the description of this pilot show turned documentary. Here we go. Cryptic Encounters. And note, I am reading this word for word. A team of investigators search for clues to one of the most rumored creatures of them all. Starting by telling the story of the Downey Booger legend, the team quickly learns about recent sightings in the area. With the use of technology and personal eyewitness accounts, they track down the mysteries surrounding the Bigfoot phenomena. And that was written by Brent Mago, who we are also going to meet. He is the third man on this team. Looks like a young Brian Posehn, very handsome guy. So
hot.
Now that we have the quick origin of the booger from Dancing Guys and a Moonshiner, my favorite member of this team will chime in this very natural reaction and exchange with his fellow team members. This is Brent.
I wonder if there's anything still active up that way, today. You said Winston County?
Winston County.
You should look into that and just see if, how does it relate to today?
Yeah, we need to do a little research on it anyway.
Well, where would be a good place to start just to start looking for something like that?
Start at the library to find stories.
like old newspaper clippings kind of thing?
Newspaper clippings, stories of legends about them.
So I think we may take you up on that, John.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can you get us in?
That sounds like a fun project.
Behind the key access?
What?
Yeah.
Let's do it, guys.
But if we're going to do it, though, we need to do it right.
Dude, can we do like one of those 9 investigation things?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, come
I
on.
think that's going to be required.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, there we go. Man, this guy just shot out of a cannon. That is Brent. Who I guess he's supposed to be
that guy needs to calm down.
He's supposed to be the cool guy or the loose cannon of this show. The other two guys, the guy and the girl, they're very straightforward. They're not very dynamic. This guy, though, it's just the confidence and charisma oozing from his presence. He wants that, what did you call it? Behind the key access.
Yeah.
To
get the secret library stories? Like, I'm so confused.
Right. Maybe it is cryptic. He's looking for those ciphers. He needs to get in there. I like how he gets shut down quick with this.
What would be a good place to start just to start looking for something like that?
Start at the library to find stories.
Yes. It's like, come on, little champ. And they're like patting him on the head. It's like, we're going to be up past bedtime looking for signs of this booger. I promise you.
That guy was my favorite. We started at the library.
Right. Because he sounds like he's really young. I want to note this guy looks 40, but he's still significantly younger than the rest. But he is some kind of man-child in my eyes. He's just like a man-child in the very beginning of this. He's like, we could do one of those like hunt things. They're like, that's right, Brent. This is all happening.
Yeah, buddy. Are you going to be okay? Are you going to be strong? You're going to be brave? Okay.
And this clip is kind of stupid because this is 2018. But yeah, the physical library is fine. I guess it wouldn't be much of a show if they looked up on their phones.
What would be a good place to start just to start looking for something
Google it?
Like that?
I don't know.
Start at the library.
Library.
MTV's Catfish does it all the time, and that is riveting television.
Catfish goes to the library a lot? Like the physical library?
No. You said it wouldn't be much of a show if they did it on their phones and looked it up on Google.
Let them know. Let them know. Well,
just show their screen and there's the action. You're part of it.
No, these guys are old school. At least that one guy, Greg, is. Brent, even though he's the young guy, he still is like, oh, the library. I heard about that. Right. So to the library they go as leader Greg and his sidekick Brent. They meet with historian John Mahafahai, who through his fancy book learning finds that the Cherokee and Chickasaw tribes of the area both had reports of large booger-like creatures. Let's join them now. Let's join them now in Alabama's loudest library, where leader Greg brings this up about a lead he has in Winston County.
I've been in contact with a local researcher. He claims to have an area in Winston County. You know, I've got some equipment ordered. It's not here yet, but he claims to already have a lot of equipment. He's going to show us the ropes, show us how all the equipment works, and show how he does his researching or how he does his investigating. So maybe he can teach us a thing or two.
Sounds like Winston County is the place to go.
I think so. Well, that's where the legend of the Downey Booger started. So let's go to the source.
Yeah, this library, there's a lot of chatter going on. But you heard that. Greg knows a guy with some equipment, so that could help. This is like a poverty cryptid investigation team. They don't even have equipment. They have nothing. They don't even know how to use it if they had it. But they know a guy.
This is just the DIY version. Like, you know, if you can't get your actual cryptid store-bought, it's fine. But, you know, good for them for trying.
Right. They kind of go on.
Every time they say the Downey legend of the Downey Booger, I think of like the little Downey soft little bear or whatever like that.
Oh,
yeah.
How have I not imagined?
He's like the booger.
I think of Robert Downey too. I will say that. I think of Robert Downey Jr. a little bit. That he's out there sneaking around. Maybe he's a booger. He's getting up to stuff.
Could be.
I just don't know how these people are all saying booger with a straight face. Like, it's not the funniest word in the world.
It really isn't. And we kind of got into it. I'll have to pull off this last week. I definitely will be aware. There's just been 2 weeks in a row where their nose nuggets have been brought up because last week we had.
It's not usual to examine your sneezins.
So I know, I'm aware we've talked about.
Man.
I'm aware we've talked about sneezins, and now we are talking about boogers. So let's get back to this. So if the prospect of this team borrowing some guy's equipment wasn't exciting enough, their friend John the library man chimes in with an even better idea, because that's the whole reason that they're at the library. Talk to this guy John. And that leads to him possibly joining the super team. Now, will John the librarian, will he accept this a heavy burden?
Yeah. Also, since there are so many Indian legends, maybe we should try to find someone in the Cherokee and Chickasaw tribes that we can talk to, and maybe they can tell us more about these stories. Are they true stories, or are they fiction?
We're going to go head off and meet up with Paul. We have an investigation coming up. Do you want to come along?
No, I think I'm going to stay here and do some more research. There are lots of books left to go through.
Okay, well, good deal. Appreciate it, John.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Anytime.
There are lots of books to go through.
Okay, see, yeah. Sorry, I've got these books get out of hand.
Yeah, I'm only on volume 2 of Booger Encyclopedia History. Yeah, that was cold, man. Getting rejected by a librarian. It's like, these guys look really desperate. And they kept this in their doc. They're like, look, we are like the Booger super team here. We wouldn't mind having and then he says, I had to clip it.
Do you want to come along?
No, I think I'm going to stay here and do some more research.
Because
honestly, I don't think it's that big of a fucking dig to get like rejected by a librarian. Like of course, that's par for the course. They don't want to do anything. They love being inside with the books.
Yeah, and I don't think these guys are paying them either. I don't think Cryptic Encounters was like, but it you know.
But why did they include that in the fucking
Exactly. They didn't need to embarrass themselves by asking a librarian to join the team, and he's like,
he said no.
Can you guess it?
Do you want to come along?
No, I think I'm going to stay here and do some more research.
Because I work for the
Maybe
state.
That's a plot device. We don't know.
He was waiting for them to leave, and he was going to go jump on internet porn at the library. He was like, I got some research.
These guys don't even know what the internet is. They came to me looking for books about a booger. Like, I don't know how to help you. People haven't printed a booger book in decades. Good luck. So after unsuccessfully recruiting the librarian, Greg and Brent and Janice, the chopstick lady, they go and meet with this witness that also has had the guy with the sweet equipment. They go see him. His name is Paul Halsey, and he has a booger sighting of his own. He claims that he was out deer hunting once many years ago, and after he sets up in his spot, he is startled by the sounds of some dirty teens out there doing target practice with their 22s. And it sounded something like this.
They're target shooting 22 rifles. Pow, 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 pow. And then every once in a while, one of them would go, woo! Pow, 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 pow. Woo! I was like, man, my hunts, I might as well go home. It's ruined. And so they're still target shooting. Pow, pow, pow. Woo! And then about that time, one of them shoots and he does the woo. And then all of a sudden to my left, I hear woo. What the heck was that? And so I look over to the pine thicket, and they're walking through the pine thicket. It looks like somebody, a person. And I thought, man, the hell, my hunts. Whoever it is doesn't know I'm sitting here on this bucket, and I got a high-powered rifle.
Wow, I have a new favorite booger guy. He's the new sound effect king. That guy, he's amazing, and he goes on to say that it was a man in a ghillie suit, and it tried to hide behind a tree, but that it also had a huge hand that was wrapped around the tree, and then it disappeared in the woods. And this is a pretty exciting booger sighting by the Alabama Michael Winslow, I'm going to call him. These clips, look at this.
Pow, 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 pow. Woo! Woo! Pow, 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 pow. Woo! What the heck was that?
He's awesome, man.
It's a nature boy, man. Woo!
Yeah. That is what I was thinking of. Like, I don't know why he was so annoyed at the teens. He should have just fucking been cooler.
Well, this is his spot. Having fun. He found his spot, and he just happened to be close to a bunch of teens with 22s out there doing their thing.
Woo! What the heck was that?
All right, that was actually the sound of the booger. The booger maybe was imitating the teens and doing the
pow, 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 pow. Woo!
But it's going
woo!
It was really hard to tell because it sounded exactly like the teens. It sounded like it was the same voice, almost.
He doesn't have a lot of range in his impressions, and he doesn't get a lot of screen time, unfortunately. But I like this guy a lot. This guy, Paul, he puts him on the right track. So then they head out into the woods. They're all geared up. Paul is there. That guy, Paul, he's got a literal laundry basket full of equipment for these guys. You name it, it was in this basket. And he's trying to teach them all they're getting their free equipment. You'll take getting a guy who says,
pow, 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 pow.
If he's got a shitload of Bigfoot equipment that you can use for free on your new TV series, you take it. So they head out at night after making camp, and this is when it hit me. This show is a very low-rent, low-energy version of Finding Bigfoot, because they start off with the tree knocking, which we've seen a million times on there, and then the leader, Greg, wants to do a booger call now. And if you've watched Finding Bigfoot, you know that Bobo guy. He does a pretty decent Bigfoot call. Like, it's kind of
pretty good.
Yeah, it's one of the more impressive parts of the show. When Bobo goes out there, he can really belt it out. Like, he could whoop anybody's ass in any of those competitions we watch, all those Bigfoot calling competitions. Bobo has a legit good one. Now we're going to hear Greg attempt this. This is his first booger call ever. Let's see how he stands up.
Greg to Janice. I'm going to be doing a squatch call in 20 seconds. 10, 9. Here goes nothing.
All right, so where would you guys rank that? He sounds like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the old wrestler, or like Michael Jackson almost.
Oh, my God.
When's it going to start? I thought he just fell down off a cliff and just said, whoa.
It sounds like he said, G.I. Joe. He-Man.
Yes, he's got a lot of those in there. Great job, Greggy. You're no Bobo, but you're getting. This is the first episode. Maybe you have 20 seasons to work on it. So That was really it for this first night investigation. Greg deemed it a success. He came back and said, this was a complete success. I screamed in the woods. I hit some trees with logs. And next up, they spend an inordinate amount of time talking about and investigating booger structures. Have you guys seen these? Have you heard about these booger structures?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I see people, usually taking them down out of their noses. No, I've never seen them.
So when I picture some kind of squatch or booger structure, I think of the one we mentioned earlier, Grassman in Ohio. Like how Grassman will make a mound of sticks or grass. That's for hiding. It's like a little camp. That is not what they are looking for in Alabama. They're just looking for any trees or sticks that fall in an X shape, which I thought was supposed to be a witch thing. Apparently boogers, they also make X's to mark their territory. These are not structures.
How would they know that?
No idea.
They say that because the Native Americans did it too, they said.
Oh, dang it. So the boogers are Native Americans.
Yeah.
Right. But they keep mentioning, it does look, a little more, witchy or occultish, but they freak out. They're like, oh my God, there's two trees that have crossed each other. Bigfoot is Booger is doing something out here. And they waste a lot of time with this. And next up, though, they finally get through that. They meet with a man named Jason Weaver, who had a childhood Bigfoot encounter. And I will say that my favorite part of the show are just the other people they talk to. The main people, pretty boring. Yes. The guys they talk to are great. And like everyone Greg talks to, they get him in front of a campfire, because this is like a part of the show. And he talks about growing up on a farm in a rural area and how they had a problem with guinea pigs and rabbits being taken from their hutches. That's always a surefire sign there might be a booger around. And one night the cows got spooked, so Jason and his brother investigated, and they were forced to run back home when Jason's brother spotted what he described as, quote, big monkey people. Now, Jason did not see these at the time, but soon after, he would have his own cryptic encounter while doing some berry picking.
I'm picking along. A few minutes has passed. I don't know, 15, 20 minutes has passed, and I'm picking, and I'm filling up my bowl. And usually it's one in the bowl, two in the mouth. One in the bowl, two in the mouth, And, so I'm eating and picking, and I'm eating. And, when you pick blackberries, when you're pulling them off, you don't even really have to see them to know they're ripe. If they fall into your hand,
they're ripe.
They're ripe. So,
fall off.
So what you do is, you're eating and you're picking. And sometimes you're not even looking at where you're picking. You see the berries, but you're looking at your bowl, and you know in your hands when the berry falls off, you got it. From where Jerry had run up the trail, I hear a whistle. I hear like that. It was louder, but it was like,
I hear the whistle now. It's been going.
And I'm working my way down
this,
down this bush. And I hear the whistle again. So as I'm looking, I'm picking. And as I'm looking, I reach into the thicket and I reach to grab berries. I touch hair. So then I've touched snakes in the berry bushes before. I've touched bird nests. I've touched birds. You touch a snake in a berry bush, you know that you're not touching a berry bush. You know what I mean? You know you're touching a snake, especially when you feel its skin rub under your fingers, Oh
my God.
Well, when you touch hair, I'd never touched hair in a berry bush before.
Okay, holy shit, Jason, we get it. And I clipped that down a lot too. He goes on and on about bowls,
oh my God,
berries, things he touches.
He could tell stories for days, that guy.
Do you think that this guy really had no idea? He had to have known. He had to have known. He was doing this on purpose, right?
I don't know what he's doing. He's blindly picking berries, looking around. It's not like he's got earbuds or anything. This is like a long time ago.
I've never touched hair in a berry bush before. But when you touch a snake and you touch its skin, like with the berries and the skin, snake and the hair, like, oh my God.
I've touched squirrels. I've touched snakes. I've touched turtles in berry. Everything is in a berry bush.
Well, he was reaching behind himself as he's telling the story too. As you're watching, it looks like he's grabbing a pair of nuts. Like he's he's reaching for the berries, and he's got his
yoink. He pulls a big.
That's what they do, Brendan. They
two walnuts.
He's great, and he said so much. He said this.
Usually, it's one in the bowl, two in the mouth. One in the bowl, two in the mouth.
That means something totally different to unbelievers.
I think this guy's really popular at parties.
That's like an unbelievber porn.
Usually it's one in the bowl, two in the mouth. One in the bowl, two in the mouth.
Yeah.
One in the bowl, two in the mouth. That's
like
disgusting.
A stick and two walnuts.
I think that's what we were all definitely realizing, Russ.
He also said he was filling bowls. I didn't clip that part.
So much fodder for the listeners, yeah.
We have enough bowls already. I didn't clip when he said filling bowls. We've got enough people saying about filling bowls, but I did like the...
I'm surprised.
Okay. So let's hear the rest of this bowl-filling, booger-touching incident from Jason.
And I look, I drop my hand, and I look, and what I see is I see this creature squatted down like this.
Kind of swaying back and forth?
Right, but it's swaying more this way. I'm seeing all this, but I'm not, it's like it's seeing, I'm visualizing it, but it's not registering, Mm-hmm. And finally, when I realize that, there's its leg, and I see the top of its knee, kneecap, and then this one, and then I realize that it's Bigfoot, that I've seen a Bigfoot. And when I see this thing sitting there in the thicket, all the breath I had in my lungs was immediately, and I'm like, and I wet my pants and shuddered and shook, and so I dropped my bowl and I fly out of there and I hit the trail, and you run like
you never run.
Your life depends on it.
This feels like an AI story, and it's something an AI would make if they had access to the soundboard. It's like all about bowls and peeing pants. It's too much.
And I wet my pants and shuddered and shook, and so I dropped my bowl.
Dropped his bowl and peed his pants in like a 2 second. What is going on with boogers?
Well, apparently they make you piss your pants and drop bowls.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and they're hiding in bushes. They're peeking out of bushes too, and
it's too perfect.
It's Bigfoot peeking out from behind a bush.
Yeah, honestly, here's my new theory. I think that this is actually genius. That they are all amazing actors and pretending to be really, really bad at this, but they're creating fucking comedy gold because they understand the nuances of comedy.
This is total bait for us too. I'm sorry.
I wet my pants and shuddered and shook, and so I dropped my bowl.
His berry bowl.
I mean, I think you fell for the trap, and I'm kind of scared to see what happens now that we've taken the bait.
Yeah, they are. And speaking of taking the bait, this really affected this guy, Jason. He talks about when he was in his teens, he started having recurring nightmares about having to walk to his grandma's house from his house, and a bunch of boogers would race at him on all fours. It was terrifying stuff. He was when he was talking about this, he was almost on the verge of crying in the reenactment.
Boogers on all fours.
Very scary. And while tapping into his emotions about this encounter, he leads us into a very rare and revealing moment for a failed booger hunting program.
Out of there, like you see gorillas bluff charge, on all fours. And I would wake up terrorized, and I'd have these dreams about Bigfoot getting me. And I had nobody to talk to about this, especially, even talking about these experiences for me. As you can see, it's very
traumatic.
It's traumatic, and it's I can feel the welling up inside of me, and I have to. Right. And that's what Bigfooting has done for me, is it's learned to peel my onion, to not only face my fears when it comes to the Sasquatch, but face my fears when it comes to dealing with my own demons, my own bullies, the people that treated me badly, but also to tackle the guilt and the stuff that I've done, because I've got I got a lot to make up for in my life.
Yeah, storied past.
Yeah, I have kind of a colorful, patchy past, And
last night's interview with Jason was incredible.
Well, what did they do? They cut that off right. It was getting interesting. Jason has a patchy past. And it sounds like this booger experience as a child that kind of messed him all up. Like feels like he has a lot to answer for.
Do you think he was diddled by Bigfoot, or
I don't know?
I think he might have just done something really inappropriate with boogers.
I think he did a lot. And he said you have to peel his onions to get to it, though. This documentary had no time for peeling any onions on this guy. But
this guy definitely didn't have any friends to fucking razz him during school for all the weird shit that he says. That's very
I want to
know.
I want to know here.
I got a lot to make up for in my life.
Yeah, storied past.
Yeah, I have kind of a colorful, patchy past.
A patchy past. I like how Greg says, you've got like a storied past. He's like, not exactly. It's more patchy and colorful than storied.
It had to do with like hair and like berries and stuff.
It's like patches of hair. Yeah, it's patches of hair. And
Should that be this week's poll? What did Jason do? What was his patchy past?
I have a pretty
yeah.
I got a lot to
What are
learn
his
up for.
demons?
He's got a lot of demons. He's like, oh, you have a storied past. He's like, that sounds very innocent. No. What I did is up to the imagination. And
these aren't stories, buddy.
Oh no.
What was in Jason's bowl? Was it crack, berries, or meth?
Oh wow.
Probably all three. And I mean, let's not even get to what we know famously goes into bowls. So
Usually it's one in the bowl, two in the mouth. One in the bowl, two in the mouth.
Right.
that could be any number of things.
Perfect.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think that's actually a really perfect poll.
So after this, we'll please remember that. And after this, we cut to Brent and Janice, who are in the woods in separate hammocks, just loafing off and talking about what everyone else is doing. This is a very, very strange scene we get to where Greg isn't there, but Brent and Janice are in the most comfortable hammocks you've ever seen, and they're talking about a whistling, and I have never seen more comfortable booger hunters. Janice is deeper in this hammock than I even knew was possible. I didn't know you could get as deep in a hammock as she was.
But practically just like mummified.
And then this guy named Keith Bearden enters, and he talks about bent trees and monkey sounds, but also tracks that he's found. So they're kind of building a little more evidence about this. He also claims to have hundreds of eye shine sightings. Now, do you guys know what eye shine sightings are?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think everybody does, Russ.
Right, but can you, I've got hundreds of these. That could be anything, right?
No, it can't be anything. Oh, you mean like what the thing is that's making the eye shine?
Exactly. If you're in the woods, there's things out there, but not everyone.
Sometimes it's spiders.
You could just be like, oh, there we go. No, that was a booger going in. I'm getting hit, and I've got hundreds of these. And I claimed earlier that this was a pretty blatant Finding Bigfoot knockoff, and I'm going to stand by that because in this, they do a highly edited for TV video call with none other than Cliff Barackman, the Finding Bigfoot guy. And they totally wash his balls throughout this very long segment. They tell him how much of an honor it is, and they let this guy do his plugs. Now, listen.
Did you say wash his balls? No, what? Is that a real phrase?
They completely give this Cliff Barackman a ball wash, and they love this guy. And
oh, it's new to me. Okay.
And listen, this is not an ad, okay? Because remember this.
We never have ads, and we never will.
But Cryptic Encounters seems to love them.
And I wanted to extend our deepest gratitude.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
So what's been going on in your life lately?
My main focus, of course, is the North American Bigfoot Center. It's a Bigfoot Museum Research Center that I've organized not far from where I live. I live in the woods outside of Portland, Oregon, on the slopes of Mount Hood in the Cascade Mountains of Oregon, Northern Oregon. And so my wife and I founded the North American Bigfoot Center, which is a part educational facility, part research center. You know, we have a gift shop and stuff to kind of feed my Bigfoot addiction.
All right, good on you, Cliff. If these guys are going to use you for their booger hunting pilot, you might as well get your plugs in, like, immediately.
and let them know specifically where they can find you, where you live, and beat you up.
Right, and talk about his addiction. He is a Bigfoot addict, Brendan, this guy.
I want to go to. I want to see what merchandise he's got. I want to know the website. I want to be able to buy it online. I mean, he needs to make money too.
Yeah, he does. And look, no one doesn't love a Bigfoot gift shop and educational center. I really want to go there myself if I'm up there in that area. But remember,
we never have ads, and we never will.
This is from this. So this is how Cliff Barackman, a huge celebrity, they've got to be on their rip-off show of his own show. And Cliff gets a little fed up with Brent when he stumbles through this dumbass question.
You say, I guess, are they more humanoid-like or humans versus apes?
That's again, it's a false question. I'm so sorry to be so abusive to you guys so early.
No,
they deserve
but just so you know,
that's what we want to do. It's what we're asking.
That's kind of like asking, hey, is that a coyote or a canine? You see the flaw in that question? Mm-hmm. It's the same question. Are they humans or apes? Humans are apes. Period. That is our biological family.
How do you not know this, Brent? You poser. He should
honestly. No, he was fine. He said, "Are they humanoid or humans? Human, anything ending in oid means like that." So That was a perfectly fine question to ask. I'm just going to defend that guy.
I don't know, man. Like, yeah, you don't need to apologize for abusing these guys. They waste so much time in this. Like a third of this documentary is watching these guys on a Zoom call with Cliff Barackman. And they just let him
hate
talk.
Watching guys on Zoom calls.
They basically ask, yeah, but you're not asking me, hey, you ever heard of this thing called Bigfoot? And he's like, yeah, let me tell you fucking 20 minutes about it. I was like, we know what Bigfoot is. This is supposed to be about boogers in Alabama. They don't even bring it up to him.
Yeah, do we know, like, what's the difference between a booger and a Bigfoot yet? They're just one and the same, right? To these people, or I'm still confused.
Yeah, maybe ask Cliff Barackman about that. Like, what's the difference between a booger? It doesn't come up. They kill a lot of time in this, just letting Cliff Barackman talk freely. It felt like watching a podcast, like, ooh, I completely forgot about the Downey Booger. And to prove my point, this is like 10 minutes later, and Cliff is still going. So let's jump in here where I think they are talking about Bigfoot's dick.
Now, we don't know, it wasn't 13 inches wide, 13 inches long, or 13 inches around the circumference. We don't know what they measured, or even if the story's true. But I think that there are probably either bones in collections right now, or perhaps were at one time or were lost. I think that's a very real possibility. But as far as where the bones are for
just
Sasquatch,
keeps going.
Well, my answer is, where are the bones for bears? Bears are real. Why don't we find their bones? And people say, well, I've seen bear
stupid.
bones. No, you've seen bears that were shot.
Yeah,
and their bones. But to find a naturally dead bear or mountain lion or any other apex predator is extraordinarily rare. Extraordinarily rare. We don't really know what happens to them.
Wait, so you say bears are immortal, maybe, unless you shoot them? Is that right, Cliff? What are you talking about?
Is he saying bears aren't real because we don't find their bones? Wait,
hold on.
I mean, people say, well, I've seen bear bones. No, you've seen bears that were shot.
That's what you've seen.
Those weren't bones. That was an entire bear that was shot.
Right. Most of the time.
Get them confused all the time.
But he claims that like deer, mice, and elk, they eat the bones, and moths eat the hair. He listed everything in nature that could eat a bear. They're like, oh no, the parts are separated everywhere, and it just goes back to the earth. It's like,
I mean, clearly he's forgetting the part that, like, well, maybe they actually, have culture and they have funerals and they put the bears in the caskets and they bury them.
Right, like the Charmin Bears Society.
Yeah, like you're not gonna. They're underground, man. They get buried. They have some class.
Hey, does a bear get buried in the woods if nobody sees it? And one of the things he references, though, like Cliff does to prove his point, he's like, there's a YouTube video where our deer is eating a human rib cage. It's like, this gets totally off the rails, not booger related at all.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Right.
He was talking about body farms or something, and then it turned into deers eating rib cages.
Yeah, he gets so off track. But they never give him a track. They're just like starstruck that they got Cliff Barackman. So they're like, let's milk this for all we can get. And the longer this goes on, the more it becomes clear that Greg from Cryptic Encounters has a very hard time talking. And while Cliff is very seasoned, that guy can go on forever without stumbling. It's not a good look if you were launching a competing show against this guy. Let's listen.
Is there always an odor with it, or has any of them ever displayed any intimidation?
I've heard noises that I believe are Sasquatches, at least I should say, to be clear. I didn't see them do it, but I've heard them do some weird noises, but I've never heard them talk back and forth to one another. I've spoken to several witnesses who have, though. And this is beyond like the Ron Moorhead stuff. And Ron's a good friend of mine and I believe him and stuff like that. But Bobo and Matt have both heard the jibber jabber before. I've never have, though. I've heard them make noises that were I've heard them yell the word hey or something very similar to hey before. I've heard things that went, right. But I wouldn't call that speech.
Wow.
This is like 15 minutes into just him, Barackman being on there. You're just padding the show with his filibuster. It's like, oh, I wonder why this never went past case one. I don't know why. Like,
what if he just repeated like a slur, like a really offensive word that he was not allowed to say? Brendan.
That's not
Somebody
speech.
censor that.
Yeah, it is.
Things that went,
I can't believe you're getting away with this.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that guy did not shut up. God, he just kept going and going and going and going.
He does.
Oh, my God.
And he says a lot, though, in this. He says that there are at least 100 times as many bears as Bigfoot. And I'll go on record and say, I believe that. I will stand by that stat. I don't know what that stat's supposed to mean, because if Bigfoot doesn't exist, yeah, there's definitely a lot more times bears than Bigfoot. So safe assumption.
So 0?
Safe assumption. No, I think he's out there, especially more when we get to the end of this. And the call finally ends after we get more gushing from Greg and Brent towards Cliff Brockman. He's like, yeah, you can have me back. Like, can you come back? Oh, we did it. They're so excited. But Brent, then we go to Brent. Brent brings in an alleged recording of some booger screams that he and Janice recorded, probably on that day where they were in the hammocks. And he also has a picture of a footprint and a handprint. Wow, real compelling stuff. It does get better, though, as they meet with two people named Bobby and Firehawk to learn about the ancient origins of Bigfoot from those who know best. And they meet with them, and you guessed it, a campfire was involved. Another daytime campfire in
The
front.
best kind.
This is in front of Bobby and Firehawk's, I'll be nice and say, living structure. And here's the young guy, Bobby, telling us about an ancient tribe that stayed nice. So we kind of get a history of indigenous tribes. There was one tribe that stayed nice at the time where all the other tribes began murdering everybody. This is his words.
That's not nice.
I didn't know that all the indigenous tribes started murdering each other. And God was so pleased with the tribe that stayed nice, they basically turned this tribe into wood boogers.
And it's the same way with them, and that's their home. They know everything, man, every little thing. And the Creator blessed them in such a way with the trees. I mean, I'm like you was talking about. They were saying he was peeking out from behind a tree. You know, that was a moment of weakness. He shouldn't have done that. He never known he was there.
What?
Had he not, been peeking around and stepping out. He wanted to be known, and that's why he wound up being known. But yeah, the tree people, when they're everywhere, they could be watching you right now.
Right now?
Oh, geez.
I believe them. These sneaky tree people, they are everywhere, hiding their bones from us like they're bears or something. So this is the guy
how dare they?
This is the guy they get their history from, who talked about all these murder tribes and a good tribe that was turned into the tree people, wood boogers. They hide them.
So that's a reward for being good, is being turned into tree people?
Yes, so you won't get murdered. You can hide. And he says this, and like I said, it sounds like an AI wrote this episode for us.
Saying he was peeking out from behind a tree.
It really does.
That was a moment of weakness. He shouldn't have done that.
That was a moment of weakness. Now, anytime you see a Sasquatch peeking out from behind a bush, or Mrs. Sasquatch peeking behind a snowy bush, anytime you see anything like that, that is...
They were saying he was peeking out from behind a tree. You know, that was a moment of weakness. He shouldn't have done that.
That is a moment of weakness. That is when a booger has messed up and done something wrong, and it is exposing itself. It's exposing itself when it shouldn't be. And this thing finally tries to get going at the end when the team of Cryptic Encounters, Greg, Brent, and Janice, they get all geared up with that borrowed gear. They build another campfire to talk near and go out in the wild. And right after a very slow and boring conversation between the three, Greg says, quote, "I hope we finally get some action," as they all sit very quietly and stare blankly at the campfire. Greg even tries out a new catchphrase as they go out. He says, "Time to wake the squatches." It is in a very meek and whispery voice.
Well, I mean, I wish you would have just clipped that with no context and then surprised us with it.
I'm doing it better. Time to wake the squatches. This was his
probably
big kind of pump up thing. So, they're all here. They're together. They get some very grainy thermal imagery of what they think is a booger squatch that is crawling around and hiding. So they might actually solve this mystery. Now, will they pursue it? Will they get any real answers on this night investigation? Oh, please, let's hope.
We were going to go off deep into the woods. But again, there's this phenomenon where, I guess some call it instinct, some call it mind speak, whatever it is. We've sort of gotten a message not to go. So I think we're probably going to call it a night, since they don't want us to go up on the hill. They've allowed us to film them. Whatever it is has allowed us to film them.
Right.
We've had something to crawl up on us.
Oh my gosh.
And it seemed like it was crawling and then kind of peeked up. and then ducked back down, and then
It just disappeared.
disappeared. It just disappeared.
Didn't exist.
So I think we might call it a night. And
Come
be done
on.
with this legend. So it's been fun. It's been interesting.
Didn't let us down tonight.
No, didn't let us down at all.
Oh,
No.
Our final night investigation in Georgia was a blast. In true fashion, it did not disappoint.
Oh, really? Because chickening out the end. That is very disappointing, Greg. You hear that?
Well, John Mulaney does say that canceling plans is like heroin, which is kind of thrilling to some people, but I think it puts most people to sleep.
But don't film it. They finally got something. They got some thermal imaging. Like, wow, we're actually on this track of this thing. I can't believe it. Let's go. We should probably leave now.
Yeah, right. The music got so exciting. I thought, it's finally happening. It's ending. Oh, it's ending.
Yeah, it's really ending.
He started talking at the end there. It sounded like Hank Hill.
He has He is very Hank Hill. He's very low energy. He's got the same body as Hank Hill.
Girl booger.
I want to get a good one to him. Do I have one?
I got a lot to make
No,
up for.
not you. Get out of here, patchy past. We can't have you. So yes, they kind of chicken out the end. And after hightailing it out of there, they regroup to do what all of these shows do, the closing evidence dump and review. Man, everyone loves that part, right?
Yeah, it's the most enthralling part.
Oh, yeah, I normally love this, but they get very excited about a couple of lights that they capture in the distance. Not one, but two lights. I'm not sure why floating lights or floating lanterns it makes it so exciting. That's like, I thought you were looking for the Downey Booger. All your footage is about weird lights you saw. What does this have to do with Booger or anything else? We do find out because while they were hyper-fixated on filming orbs of light, they did capture something.
Well, look what else was there. I'm just going to play it. You see it?
What
There's
is
the
that?
orb.
Yeah, I see the orb.
You see the thing
What
crawling
I
around?
want to know is what is that in between us and that orb?
Whoa.
You see the thing on the ground? Now, what it looks like
Yes,
to
I
me...
do, Brent, and it's very disturbing.
What it looks like to me is something is crawling in. If you remember, Jason said when he had his encounter that something was doing this.
Uh-huh.
Look, does that not look like something, almost like a gorilla or something doing this, walking in?
I mean, it's obviously crawling. You can see a head. You can see shoulders. You can see elbows and arms.
And what's
Brent, there's something crawling in between us and that orb.
What's this orb, though? I'm going to play this. Look how bright this thing gets. I mean, it gets incredibly bright.
Brent, is there a connection between orbs and a Bigfoot?
Well, I mean, we have to figure out what the heck that orb is. I mean...
We'll worry about the orbs later. You filmed a sneaky tree booger on camera. It's like, congrats, CE team. But you could just show us this. It didn't need to be an hour and 20 minutes long. I'll ask you guys watch this. I don't know, Drea, if you even made this far, you probably passed out for this.
Honestly, I did. I fell asleep. I could not make it through. I wish I had known there were orbs. I would have stayed awake for it. But how are they going to find out what the orb is?
Who cares about I didn't care about the orb. What they captured.
There's no way to find out.
Brandon, what was your opinion? So they did capture something. It looks like something. I don't know. It could have been a couple of raccoons going tail by tail under the camera. What did you think of their footage they caught of this sneaky tree booger crawling around on the ground?
I mean, I've taken part in coon hunting before, and you can be off in the woods, and you can see them headlamps for a pretty far distance away. So I think it could have been something like that, and I think they wanted to see something so bad they were like, oh, and then they didn't really catch anything because I really didn't notice anything on the bottom that was any credible evidence. So.
Something moved, though. Something did move. It did look like something, but the footage is so low quality, it's hard to make out anything. You're not going to, this isn't evidence, that's going to, break the world or anything like that. And
I hope not.
This is what they get, but they close it out with that great revelation. And here's our final clip as the team from Cryptic Encounters looks ahead to what is surely to be a bright future.
But I think it really, I think this whole experience has been amazing. We've learned a lot. We've done a lot.
That's for sure.
And,
did you?
Oh, yeah.
We've really been able to take the legend of the Downey Booger and explore it. And I really think we found something but I don't think we're done.
Oh, absolutely not.
I mean, I want to know more about this and what it all means, you know. So, I mean, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Now, it's on to the next.
Oh, I know.
We gotta find out what
that is right there.
We gotta find out what that is.
Yeah, and wrong. No, this was indeed the end for them. There was no follow-up. They never investigated the orbs. It's over, guys. They tried. This was...
Oh, man.
It was a pilot TV
But they were so much fun.
They did try to have some fun. They try to become one of those Bigfoot hunting teams. Just their first episode. It is sad when they still kept in at case number 1. It's like 1 of 1. They never got to the orb, never got on anything. And I did look, I was curious about the guy, Greg, who created this. I was like, where's the follow-up? Where's the legend of the Downey orbs? Like, you guys seem way more interested in this than finding the booger. Greg did go on to create other things. On IMDb, he is listed as the creator of a Star Trek fan film series called Reclamation. And he even has one from 2022 titled Firehawk. And if you remember, Firehawk was name of Bobby's mom, I guess. The indigenous woman he talked to in this was named Firehawk. And so he made a Star Trek fan film called Firehawk. He must be really into her. Here's the description. I love this. Here's the description of Star Trek fan film Firehawk. The Firehawk has received a distress call from the SS Tchushman. The Tristan has already responded, but is under attack from the Wasani. Can the Firehawk arrive in time? Or will the crew of the Tristan become live prey for the Wasani?
Ooh, who knows? We may never find out because it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
it's just a trailer.
I know everything he does. He's like the George.
So sad.
He's like the George R.R. Martin of boogers. He's never going to conclude it. We'll never figure out what happens.
Sounds like that's something you order when you walk into a deli. Like, hey, give me a Wasani sandwich.
Extra boogers, please.
Oh, I just want the SS Tchushman, please. Like, I'm trying to get light tonight. And that's it for the Downey Booger for us and them. Do you guys have any final thoughts? Did you walk away believing more in boogers, Drea? Did the team teach you anything?
They definitely taught me that I was correct to fall asleep in the middle of it. No, actually, I do regret that because that was some pretty funny shit I think I missed out on. But they did teach me that you should always just, your first recourse should be going to your local library.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to come along?
No, I think I'm going to stay here and do some more research.
And the way this thing ended, I thought was great. They went through the trouble of making a little montage of all the friends they made along the way. To some very sad music, and they did show the library guy really quickly in the montage, and he was just looking at a book. He was like, he is still researching.
He was still there doing his.
Everyone else had like a thing where they're looking off in the distance.
That's so unnecessary.
It was so great. I was so happy. I was like, yes.
Janice is sitting there beating on like some buckets with her chopsticks, like playing drums and shit.
Yep, they were in the hammocks. Everyone was having a great time, and that one guy, he had it, but he was looking at those 22 kids.
Pow, 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 pow.
Woo!
I'm gonna miss them.
I will too. How about you, Brendan? Any final thoughts on the Downey Booger? Do you believe more? I actually did like the footage that they had. I know that everything else was stupid, but their footage was kind of neat.
I thought it was shot pretty well. I mean, it was a pretty well shot documentary. I mean, they were obviously it was independent, but I mean, I don't think they wasted a lot of time with interviews for sure.
The people were fun that they met up with.
It was great comedy.
Any campfire people were great. Yeah, that was all great content.
Yeah.
Talking to Cliff Barack, man, make that a side podcast. Do something. That was like a big old chunk of this show.
Yeah, that was waste of time.
He was very demeaning, and you guys washed his balls, as Drea was learning about tonight. They were doing all that. So what should the poll be for this week at unbelieverspodcast.com? I know we came up with a couple of polls ideas. What do you like, Drea?
Oh, man. Is it possible to do more than one? Have we ever attempted that?
I don't know how we do that. Let's try one for now. Wow, you like both of them?
All right, one for now. Whatever. I'm actually going to be writing them all down, but just my one I think that I like the best is no, I got nothing. I can't pick just one, dude.
Yeah, I know. We had a few. All right, Brendan, what should the poll be for this week? What are we going to do with these guys?
I mean, I made the one last week about the bowl, but I don't.
Well, hey, if it's going to be, just
was
keep the polls coming.
Was Bigfoot diddling in the bush?
Oh wait, it was what did that guy do? I remember.
Coming.
No, hold on. It was supposed to be what did that guy do? Remember that guy with the checkered past? What was that guy getting up to?
I have a pretty,
the patchy
a lot to make
past.
up for in my life.
Yeah,
you know?
storied past.
Yeah, I have kind of a colorful, patchy past. You know.
All right. So what is involved in this guy's patchy
All right.
past?
So what was in his past? Was it colors? Was it patches? Was it stories?
What did he actually do? Go to unbelieverspodcast.com. There will be a
berries?
bowl up. What Happened when he dropped his bowl? That's a different. Yeah, what was in that guy's bowl? That was the other one we liked. All right, we'll let the world decide. We'll figure it out. All right, let's get out of here I've got a great booger song I want to get us out with. Here we go. This is Brendan. You're gonna love this.
There's a scary legend around these parts. A big old hairy thing running through these woods. Some people say they've seen it, and other folks just don't know. Some say it's old Scratch crawling from way below. Oh, they say, here he comes. It's a woodbuck.
Woo, woo, pow, 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 pew, pew. All right, yes, there is a wood booger song. Good stuff tonight.
Sounds painful.
And yes, and Drea and I are still here. Brendan, where did Brendan go? Brendan has been taken, abducted.
Oh my God.
We don't know.
Where did he go? He was just here.
It happens that quick. But yeah, this is just Drea and I here. And
you know what happened? I think we know what happened, but don't say its name because then it's going to get us.
The
booger man got him.
Yeah, he got snatched by a booger in the middle of the recording. But thanks, Brendan, for being on. And right now, I've got a little bit of unbeliever news before we get to everyone's third favorite segment. And I've got unbeliever good news and unbeliever bad news. I'll ask you, Drea, what should I talk about first?
Well, let's see. If we're going to do this, interrogation style, you usually start with bad news.
All
We're
right.
going to switch it up and go with good news.
All right, good. A little good news. We haven't done a Unbelievers live stream in a little bit over a month. And I will announce Friday, August 30th, there will be an Unbelievers live stream. I'm going to try to get some fun guests.
Oh, no.
Hopefully I can get... I thought
you said the good news was coming.
This is the good news. I want to get mega abductee out there. I'm going to try to drag Drea on there. I want some special guests. I want some fun stuff. I don't know. Maybe something fun's going on August 30th, Friday night. We don't know what that could be. But stick around. Check it out. We're going to do it live, and I'll probably put it up on Patreon after because it's going to be just too crazy just to keep up there. We'll get kicked off. That's the good news. Now, sadly, I've got to get to a bad piece of unbeliever news. And it is with a heavy heart that I would like to say rest in peace to a longtime unbeliever and friend of the show, going back a very, very long time to the days of Unbelievable Podcast. Rest in peace to Andy Thomas Cagle. He was a longtime unbeliever, big fan, great contributor, a really nice guy, very punk rock guy, very, very nice guy. And sadly, he passed away on August 17th, just a couple of days ago before this recording. And he will be missed. He was a great contributor, great guy. And here's a little bit from his obituary. He was a man of great strength. Andrew fought valiantly through life's challenges with a heart made of gold. His kindness and generosity touched countless lives, leaving an indelible mark on all who knew him. Although he left us too soon, his spirit will forever remain in our hearts. And one of the things a lot of people say is just the great sense of humor he had. He loved comedy. He loved the weird. He loved the unbelievable. He loved all that. He was a really, really cool guy. And he's one of the guys that I look and even just a lot of this I've seen through Facebook. And I'm like, I have 50 mutual friends. He was a very, very involved unbeliever. Great guy. He's going to be missed. He's going to be missed big time. And that is the bad news. I will put a link to there is a GoFundMe set up to help his family. Andy was not only a father, but a grandfather, kind of in the young grandpa club like myself. And there is a GoFundMe set up. I will have a link in the description of this episode where you can go help his family out and help his kids and all that. And you're going to be missed, Andy, a lot. And one of the things he was definitely known for was the segment we're going to get into next. If you guys have ever heard of someone called the Bookish Man was Andy Thomas Cagle. I can dox you now, motherfucker. You are dead. You're dead. You're getting doxed. If you die, I will dox your poll result name. And that's what I'm doing right now. And this is one of the things he loved the most because he was the Bookish Man going way back. And he loves everyone's third favorite segment, poll results. This week's poll, what's the real reason for Asthma Al's cough? And the choices were, he has asthma, bong rips, cigarette smoker, or chemtrails. I'm going to ask you, Drea, Mora, what do you think the Unbelievers said?
Oh, I mean, definitely chemtrails.
Wow. Congratulations. True unbeliever there with 57% of the vote. Chemtrails dominated this week's poll. Oh, chemtrails. Everyone was into chemtrails. But, of course, there are others. What's the real reason for Asthma Al's cough? Art asked him to turn down his radio, but Al's lungs are allergic to silence. That is from Ramadus.
That's a good one. Oh,
okay,
man.
That's why he's coughing. He's allergic to silence. What's the reason for Asthma Al's cough? There's only one explanation. Aliens were testing viruses on the public in the early 2000s. He was abducted and given COVID-18 by Graves. Shit. Thinler's List, COVID-18. That's where it started.
I'm sorry, whose list?
Thinler's.
That's
Lisp.
Really creative.
This is Lisp.
That's really, I love that.
This is Lisp. Good one, Thinler's Lisp. With your name, it's hard to say. It makes me feel like I have a lisp saying your name. What's the reason for Asthma Al's cough? He's been sharing a bong with the Bigfoot tulpas. They kind of like to be a secret. Okay.
So we used to have to keep our bongs secret.
That's from Golden Rice. Thank you, Golden Rice. And of course...
You know, they like to be kind of like a secret.
All right. Thank you, Golden Rice. What's the reason for Asthma Al's cough? The idiot probably isn't storing his tomatoes and cucumbers at room temperature. Signed a new poll result, a vase that fell off the shelf. Thank you, vase that fell off the shelf.
That fell off the shelf. Wow.
Going back into the past with this one, if I can find it, please. I know I've got.
If you want tomatoes and cucumbers to taste their very best, store them at room temperature.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
Thank you, a vase that fell off the shelf. Oh, what's the reason for Asthma Al's cough? As a typical human male, I would have to say he probably spent too long in the lair of those smoke wolves of West Virginia. Wolves that I'm familiar with, but I'm certainly not a part of, as I am a typical human male. I would like to stress that I am in no way related to said smoke wolves or any canines for that reason. I've simply heard of them one night while drinking typical human beer at a typical human bar. Signed, Louis P. Garoop. Wait a minute.
Oh, man. You know, I believe him. He sounds like a real normal person.
Louis P. Garoop? No, he sounds like...
Rougarou, which is a Louisiana werewolf, essentially.
Thank you, Chris Jericho. That's right.
Man. I think he's just a stand-up kid. He would never hang out with wolves that smoke.
Oh, yeah, you're a stand-up. You're in the lead. Sure. What's the reason for Asthma Al's cough? The real reason. He drank too deeply from that strange bowl in the other room. Signed, Deuce Zod, coming in with the bowl. And maybe, we got new bowl references. We don't get a lot of those.
Shit. I was going to say, now there's about to be a whole lot more. So fucking get your fucking bowls ready.
Yeah, get your bowls
bigger
right.
bowls,
we
everybody.
went to this room. There was this bowl on this table. And I was supposed to ejaculate into the bowl.
But what if...
And I wet my pants and shuddered and shook. And so I dropped my bowl.
Don't drop your bowl. Man. Thank you, Deuce Zod.
You can't spill what's in that bowl. It's very valuable to all of them.
That's the whole reason you're there. It's the last thing you want to be doing is spilling that bowl. Thanks, Deuce Zod. What's the real reason for Asthma Al's cough? He probably burned that flapper thing in the back of his throat. Signed Whooping Pizza Rolls. Wow.
Whooping Pizza Rolls.
Thank you, Whooping Pizza Rolls. Love that. And that burning that flapper thing. Great one.
Oh my God.
I feel like you've had to
So
explain to me
annoying.
what that thing is so many times. Just don't even bother. Now you're in the lead. Whooping Pizza Rolls. What's the real reason for Asthma Al's cough? I asked my old dad if he was proud of me for winning bowl results. He told me to shut the fuck up and get back to sawing. And that is, of course, scared of my dad guy who won poll results. You went away for a couple weeks and then scared of my dad guys winning poll results.
It's not my fault. I was hanging out with these wolves. I mean, I had an after-school club.
Not these loop-garoop guys, all right? Okay. Thank you so much, Scared of My Dad guy. What's the real reason for Asthma Al's cough? He opened up that box of lung stuff the aliens gave Jim Sparks. Signed, Unbelievable Penguin. Oh, yeah, you remember that? That's the whole reason I like Jim Sparks. He had a box full of lung guts, of lung tar.
Oh.
I'm waiting for that,
Lung
please.
guts. I had that once it lasted like 2 months. It fucking sucks.
Look, please, aliens, if you're going to do anything to me, do whatever you want. Just take my lung guts. That's all I ask. Thank you, Unbelievable Penguin.
Oh, man.
What's the real reason for Asthma Al's cough? Nope, Drea still sounds like a dude, and y'all keep calling her Pete. Somebody smack her. She might be operating like a radio station. Signed, Destined
Hell
Star.
Yeah.
Well, guess what, Destined Star? Hey, Pete.
Carter.
No, it ain't no Pete. This is Drea. Drea is real, and she's back. And thank you so much, Destined Star. Destined Star has been yearning for you in poll results that you've been. As soon as Pete came on, he's like, Drea sounds weird. Her name is Pete. Well, Drea's back. So congrats, Destined Star.
Oh, man. Love that, though. I'll try my best to sound more like Pete.
Yeah, I know. I think he thinks you're operating like a radio station. Ooh.
I am. I mean, nothing.
That's cryptic.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
What's the real reason for Asthma Al's cough? He was surrounded by swirling snot. Signed, Corrupted Mask. Was it like this?
We were surrounded by the spiral of sound.
A spiral of sound, but
It's not usual to examine your sneezings.
And see, look.
What? Oh, wow.
A lot of times, he's making this swirling snot reference. We talked about boogers all night tonight. Corrupted Mass. I don't know. You get some points for that.
That was pretty on point. He didn't.
Yeah.
How did he know that?
How did you know this? What was the question again? Yeah, what was the real reason for Asthma Al's cough? He was practicing Cusco and getting so high, he blew into his bong and took a rip from his panpipes. Signed, The Ominous Cloud. Oh, he was practicing Cusco.
I mean, I feel like I'm missing a little bit of a reference there, but I get the Cusco, the Emperor's New Groove thing.
Is that what Cusco is? I need to know who Cusco is. He blew into his bong and took a rip from his panpipes. Okay.
Panpipes.
Thank you, Ominous Clouds. What is the reason for Asthma Al's cough? Calling yourself an alien bastard. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, never mind. That was actually the last one. Thank you, Ominous Clouds. A couple people chimed in late on Alien Highway, Rebob. Rebob, Golden Rice. You want to hear those?
Yeah, of course.
Think they could steal it? Okay, these are a couple ones that came in for Alien Highway. Calling yourself an alien bastard but never riding a UFO is like saying you had 200 sexual encounters but never got laid. You remember that? That was a pretty good reference. I think I actually have that for you. Let me see. Oh, come on. I have something about never getting laid.
235 sexual encounter but never got laid.
Thank you.
Such a good sound clip.
Thank you, the Rebob. Yeah, calling that back. Thank you, Rebob. And we have another one from Alien Highway we missed. No, but the camo dudes give him a ride to the back alley. Don't know why they would lie about something like that. That was Golden Rice. All right, Golden Rice, you got in on this one, too.
Because they have spouses.
You got in on this one, but you were a little late last time. But wow, so many good ones tonight. I'm going to read some of the ones I like. Art asked him to turn down a radio, but Al's lungs are allergic to silence. That was Raminus. We had Golden Rice with, he's been sharing a bong with Bigfoot's tulpas. They kind of like to be a secret. There's so many good ones. There's a really long one from Louis Garoop. I like a lot of these. He burned that flapper thing in the back of his throat from Whooping Pizza Rolls was very good. Drea, did any of them stand out to you?
Oh, man. Yeah, besides that one for sure. Like, this is going to be tough because that one was amazing.
You like that? You like Louis Garoop? I know, it's very long.
So, the Whooping Pizza Rolls one is so good, and vase that fell off the shelf with some idiot that probably wasn't storing their cucumbers and tomatoes at room temperature. Just because it was such a good old reference and it was answering the question. You know how
It
I
is.
appreciate
Yeah.
when it's answering the question.
Yeah, he said that idiot probably isn't storing his tomatoes and cucumbers at room temperature, and that is why he's coughing, because there's just
Can we do
all
like a gold and silver?
We will. Who do you think takes second place? I'll let you pick silver first.
Yeah, I'll do that one. The Deanie Petty one.
All right, coming in second place, you've got a vase that fell off the shelf. That idiot probably isn't storing his tomatoes. Wait, I don't need to say it.
If you want tomatoes and cucumbers to taste their very best, store them at room temperature.
Thank you, Woo! You go, girl. Thank you, a vase that fell off the shelf. But this week's winner, I think we are a little bit in agreement in here that this week's winner would be who? Is it? Who do we?
Whooping pizza rolls.
Okay, congratulations with. Sorry, I have to be Rob and me. It's a little bit. Congratulations with. Where are you? Congratulations with. He probably. Yes. He probably burned that flapper thing in the back of his throat. Whooping pizza rolls, whooping pizza rolls.
I think I've heard of whooping pizza hole.
Oh, God, this has been a long night. You just won this week's poll results. All right, we have finally come to the end of the program. Before we go, Drea Mora, do you have anything you would like to say?
Just, Andy, you'll be missed.
We will miss you very, very much, Andy. And there is a link to the GoFundMe that is supporting his family. So please go donate whatever. It's fine. He's a great guy, and he will always be missed in this Unbeliever universe. And we will be live streaming on August 30th, Friday night. Andy has a whole series of YouTube videos about him called Super Andy, where he is a superhero. And these are new to me. And we might watch one or two in honor of him and these great things and a lot more. And yes, that's it. That's all I got to say. The Unbelievers podcast hosts today were Drea Mora, Brendan Shay, and me, Russ Ryan. Our editor is Issa YZ. You can join our Patreon by going to patreon.com/Unbelievers podcast for monthly bonus episodes and more. You can follow the show on Twitter at Unbelievers Pod and Instagram at Unbelievers Podcast. Our Facebook group is the Unbelievable Podcast Network. You can check out our merch store at TeePublic. There's a link in the description. And our music advisor is Pandora3373. Our composer and theme song creator is Unbeliever A.A. Ron, a.k.a. Aaron Schilb. Follow him on Instagram at the Aaron Schilb. Our official graphic designer and card maker, designed our logos, Raymond Roel. Check out his work at Harley Warren Art on Twitter and HarleyWarren.com on the internet. Our official Guardian of the Medstack, Rack and Stack. Our official Alien Bopper is Nunchuck Bop. And from the Patreon, our official reptilian at the post office is Postal Patty. Our official extraterrestrial woman still waiting for hashtag rubbing heads to trend is Crescent Moon.
Let's make that happen, people. Come on.
Please do. And go check out Crescent's Twitter if you haven't looked in a little while. A few weeks ago, she made a great video about
like a mother.
Go check out Crescent's Twitter, please. Her ex, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Our official.
Go check out her ex.
Go check out her ex. Our official Reverend Doctor of the podcast is the non-Newtonian Druid. Our official Big Island Friendly Paranormal Weatherman is Green Finhawk. Our official procrastinator is Jeffrey Hartner. Our official Baby Yoda publicist is Pam Z. Our official Unbelievers listening between the stations for a message from Art Bell is Scott E. Our official Unbelievers racing Puckwudgies is Joe Filler. Our official Madman is Unbeliever Adam. Our official Unbelievers time travelers Taylor Nelson. Our official Ghost Hunting is Amelia Childs and Ghost Hunting in New England. And Spirit Halloween is open, so Hubie Halloween.
Yay!
Our official
Hubie Halloween season.
Hubie Halloween is here. Our official senior European correspondent is KML, the I Don't Know podcast. Our official paranormal art curator is Isis Haynes. Our official Rod is Rod Begliomini. Our official Unbelievers in need of titles are Mike Henry, Toddix, Lid Vicious, Sandra Deborah Foles, Ramiro, Trash Baby, Adam Dvorak, Retroy Josh. And this week's Unbelievers focus is Sid Shanshala, who actually did have a run-in with Crescent and her alien crew. Man, they missed Scott E last time, but they did find Sid. And the meeting couldn't have gone worse, though, because as soon as Sid arrived, she ended up panicking.
And I wet my pants and shuddered and shook. And so I dropped my bowl.
Good night.
Well, now they've got to do it all over again.
R.I.P. Andy.
Discontinue! Discontinue!